All right, time to get to work on another car. We are gonna be finishing up fixing the Sonata. I'm gonna show you the entire process from the beginning to the end with how the car finally looks. Let's get into the video. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Joe. I run a Turo business here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today we're gonna talk about a car that was involved in, I don't even know how many wrecks in the front, but all I know is it was an absolute mess. So our 22 Hyundai Sonata has been through all kinds of issues, and this time was no different. The bottom valence had always been missing a small piece, so I have been waiting to fix it, and finally somebody ended up hitting something hard enough to where the bumper was really messed up. So I'm gonna show you some pictures of what it looked like. And that's what the car was returned to me with, and the guest didn't even explain to me exactly what happened, but clearly it looked like the point of impact was somewhere on the bumper cover. I think I mentioned that in one of the videos as I'm tearing the car apart. Basically, from that point, I went ahead and filed a claim. We had another trip that was scheduled with a guest, and I let her know in ahead of time, and I said, hey, this is the situation with the car. You may want to take a look at it and just make sure that you're okay with driving it. She took the car, and when she brought it back to me, the entire lower bumper was just missing. It was gone. So I don't know if it hit something again or if she just bottomed the car out and the piece just fell off. I don't really know what happened, but all I knew was we needed to get to work. We needed to get this car done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you back to the beginning with everything that we did to the car, and you're gonna see random different bits of video because my camera was not behaving very well during the teardown and the rebuild process. So I had to trust some of my TikTok live footage as well as the security camera that we have back there to show the actual reassembly of the car because there was nothing else going on at that time. That was the only camera that was working. This one was not. It was frustrating. But anyways, without further ado, let's start with the teardown. Up and down. And there it is. There is the whole bumper. So we're gonna try to see what we can salvage off the back part here, but you can see the bumper absorber is all cracked right here. None of this is good. That all has to get replaced. Some of this, I want to take all this wiring off so that we can have it all ready to go. But we'll see what we are working with here in just a bit. What I want to make sure of over here is that the stuff that I unplugged does not get affected. Good news is whatever happened in the accident, the actual bumper is in good shape. If you don't know about your car, that's the bumper. This is the bumper cover. So a lot of people call this the bumper, but this is your bumper. This is what you need to make sure is structurally intact and sound for when you get, God forbid you end up in a car accident, that needs to be in good shape. There we go. So now we got our grill, and we got the piece for the emblem. on the front. That is what I'm currently in the process of trying to get off. But there is just so much on here, and there may even be screws holding it in. So next thing I'm going to try to do is remove this plastic piece that is on the back, which I did not order this part, and I'm actually glad that I'm seeing it because it is in good shape. There is nothing wrong with it, so we will definitely reuse the part on the new bumper cover. Okay. So there's that. This is why if you take your car to a collision shop and you look at the quote and they tell you a number and you're like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. How is it that much money for such a little amount of damage? It's because I have just taken the bumper apart into 1, 2, 3 different parts. And this is another part. Each plastic piece on here is another part. The bumper absorber is another part. So there are multiple components inside this car that make up the entire front end of the car. So you definitely want to be aware when you are going to places like a collision shop and you're getting quotes and that kind of stuff and you're questioning why it's so much money. This would be the reason. I am personally not a fan of the placement of this emblem. I don't know how I'm going to get it off without breaking it. I'm going to try, and worst case, if it breaks off, we're going to have to just add that into our cost. There's a dead bug in there, but it is very, very tight. I think I'm going to take a Dremel and we'll actually break these plastic tabs, because again, the grill, this is not going to be something I'm going to save. I mean, look at this. It's bent and broken. There's nothing left to salvage on there. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to take a Dremel and we will cut into this part without hitting these, and this way we can remove the part without having to purchase a whole new one. There it goes. All right, here's our piece. Again, salvageable, nothing's wrong with them. So we're gonna put them off to the side with the rest of these parts. And the only other pieces that are left on here is there's a plastic bracket up here and a plastic bracket here. So I'm gonna take those two off, and that'll do it for this bumper cover. We are finished with the factory bumper cover. And there we go. Those are our last parts off the bumper cover. We are all done with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to save all the parts, even the broken ones, so that we make sure that we don't have to pull any more parts off of it. The chrome piece that's in the center right here, that's getting replaced. This part, obviously, that's the part that I was talking about that's all broken. So that'd be why we're getting a new bumper cover for this car. And I may take some heat to the reflector housings and just grab them, because that's really the only piece that's left that I'm not sure about whether we're going to need them or not. So it might be better for me to just pull them off and hope that we don't need them. Then this way we can just get rid of this thing. Alright, we're going to go ahead and unbox these parts, And so first off, here is a fender liner. This looks like it is going to be the driver side, because we got the little lines right in the front, I believe, is where those ones are. So this is our driver side fender liner, I believe. If not, the passenger, no big deal, whichever one it is. Actually, it should tell me right here. Left hand, so driver side. There really isn't any inboxing on this either, or unboxing. This is the chrome trim that's going to go along the bottom of the bumper cover. So as I mentioned in TikTok, and if you look at my TikTok video, you can actually see what the car looked like when it was damaged. But the impact zone was right around here in the center, and impact zone was right around here in the center. And so there's a lot of scratching and stuff like that on the chrome trim of the bumper cover. So that's you know, definitely stuff that I want to get addressed and fixed. So that's why we're not reusing the original chrome piece. Now the other chrome pieces that go on the rest of the bumper cover, those were all fine, so we actually saved that. That's with our usable parts, so that's going to be perfectly fine. The lower bumper was completely gone from the during the last rental. I can't blame that last guest because the bumper was really just being held up by zip ties. So all that, I mean, it could have very easily just bottomed out, and that could have been the end of it. Have no idea, but I feel bad that that happened. I explained to the guest ahead of time that the car was in a car accident and that we have parts on order, but it was up to her on whether she wanted to continue with the reservation or if she wanted to go with a different car. I didn't have any cars available, so she wouldn't have been able to go anywhere else with me. She would have had to go through somebody else. She didn't mention anything, so I assume that she was perfectly fine with going with us. So here's the next part. This is the lower grille, I believe. So let's pull this out and see what kind of condition it's in. And there we go. Here is our part. Looks like all the fasteners are intact. All the pieces that snap in, they're all intact and looking good. So this is this part is currently missing. It fell off the car. So we needed that back pretty bad, and thank goodness we finally have it all together here. Now this one is the one I was most nervous about because there were different prices for the grill. Some of them were 70 bucks, some of them were 360 bucks. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to get when I ordered this one. So I did end up going with a little bit cheaper one, which is obviously a gamble, but we're going to look at it and cross-reference it to the other one and see what we got. So it, again, looks like it's packed pretty decently, doesn't look bad. Alright, and here is our grill. The only part that I am concerned with is this front piece right here, whether or not that is going to sit correctly on the front of the car once we go to put it back. So we're going to have to check that out. I may have to do some finagling in order to make it fit. Yeah, if you look here, these are indented in on the bottom, and then over here it is straight down. So, or it's pushed out in the center and then it goes straight down. So there's a little bit of fitment differences with this old one versus the new one. So we are going to see how this works. I am hoping that we do not have any problems when we go to put this on. Here's our first reassembly. Ready? Slide her in. And there it goes. Now we got our Hyundai logo. Awesome. So here is the lower bumper cover, or the lower bumper, all in pretty good shape. And if I can find the grill, it's right here. So this should be able to slide in here, not eat my hand, and just go right in place. So there's our part. I just heard a small snap, which is good. Let's see this side. That looks good. And there we go. So there is the grill in its entirety for the lower piece. And as I mentioned, we have screw holes. You got one, you got two up there. And so we're going to need to buy screws to put those in place. So that'll be something we deal with at a later time, but obviously before we put the bumper on the car. And then we also have screws that are right here that we're going to need to get for the car as well. All right, and here is our new bumper cover. Just got it out of the box and it looks like it is in really good shape. This box was humongous. I'm going to show you a picture. I had to have the semi-truck, well actually I didn't have them. They decided to park all the way down to the end of the street over there because they couldn't fit the semi down the street to deliver this thing. But it is in really good shape. I cannot wait to put this together. We're not going to do it today, but you will see it in this video. But today we have a date, me and my wife, so this thing is going to get left alone and it's going to get put somewhere safe so that I can get started on it hopefully tomorrow. So I actually checked the paint against the car and it's in pretty close of a match. I know paint fades over time, so that's a little bit of my sort of concern as far as how it's going to look on the car. But yeah, we have almost everything all ready to go to put this on the car. We have the lower bumper already put together, and I think it's screwed on. I cannot remember if I did that part already or not, but if I didn't, we have screws ready to put on there. We have the grill already done. The only pieces that are going to be kind of not fully put on the car yet is going to be the bumper absorber, because we do not yet have the bumper absorber as of the time of recording this video, so that's going to be next. Once the bumper absorber comes in, then the wiring over on this side will go all the way across, and it actually kind of nestles itself into the absorber, and then it goes right there. So that's going to be the only part that's not going to be fully together, but everything else should be done. And it's kind of hard to see from here, but if you look at the front of the car, we have the radiator deflector right there, and it is missing over on the other side. So that's another part that we ordered that isn't here yet, but I should be able to get the car together without that one piece. So we're gonna work on that later. Obviously this part is going to be priority. We also have back here, we have the splash guard, and we have all the fender liners and everything kind of nestled inside the trunk. So next part of this video is going to be me actually putting this car together. So let's get to it. All right, so it is the day that we're gonna get all this done. So here's where we're at. So we still have to remove the fender liner. This is how far the fender liner is really supposed to go. There's nothing left of this one, so we're gonna pull all this off, and then underneath, the splash guard has definitely seen better days. So we're gonna remove the remaining screws to take that out. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the fender liner put on, and then we will leave the splash guard off until we get the bumper cover on. So there's the bumper cover, and then in the back of the car is the bottom part of the bumper and the grill. So we're gonna put that together, and then we also have in the trunk all of the components that go onto the bumper as well. We don't need these anymore because thankfully the new bumper cover came with these already. So we're just gonna trash those. And we will have everything together except for the bumper absorber, which is supposed to come today. It's on the FedEx truck for delivery. So we're gonna concentrate on removing the remaining parts off the car, as well as getting whatever we can of this bumper cover done. So let's get to work. And there it is, completely finished up, buttoned up and ready to go. We got this done pretty quick and it is holding up really well. You know how sometimes when you get body work done on a car, you can tell just by pressing on the bumper. This one is nice and tight, feels really good. Everything is holding on very well. Got the grill and the lower grill put in. Everything is good. The only thing that we have left to do is underneath the car. We have 4 bolts, 2 that go on this side and 2 that go over on the other side. And when this car originally got in the accident and all these pieces were missing, those bolts were gone, had nothing to recover. So I'm gonna go and buy 4 new bolts from the auto parts store and we'll put that on. But the splash shield is on. This whole car is completely back to normal again, and I am so happy about that. We did file for 1 more supplement because we still had a couple of other things we needed to get. We got the radiator support, actually did get hit over on this side, and then we also ordered a new wiring harness because the ambient temperature sensor is right back behind here, and that got hit in the accident, in the latest accident, and the plug for it is all messed up. That's it right there. There's the ambient temperature sensor. So whenever the last accident happened and it got hit right there, that got affected. So we ordered those parts and they are coming in pretty soon and we'll get those replaced, but we'll have to file another supplement to take care of that. So after the accident and the claim, we took care of everything 100% from start to finish yet again. Same car, we did that last time too, but we ordered the bumper, had it delivered here. We got the semi truck to come and deliver the bumper. So that was pretty awesome. But we got that yesterday and this car is done. It's ready to go. And I'm super happy about it that we were able to take care of the entire repair from start to finish on our own. Now, the only reason that we were able to get this done on our own is because this car did not have any major structural damage, didn't have anything that required any sort of welding or body work or any of that kind of stuff. So that actually was nice in that when we inspected the bumper, when we inspected the frame rails, everything was in good shape. So we were able to continue on with the repair ourselves. But if it had gotten to that point, we would have had to send this car to the collision shop to get repaired. So there you have it. We finished everything with the car. It took us probably from the time that the original accident happened where the bottom bumper was starting to finally fall off until the actual repair. It took us probably close to 2 weeks to get everything done. And we did the full self-repair from start to finish. We never had to rely on a shop to do anything. The only thing that somebody actually did labor on that we did not do ourselves was we had the bumper cover painted from a shop in Michigan. That's the only labor that we ended up having to have outsourced. And so now the moment you've all been waiting for, which is what was the final cost for all of these repairs? So I'm just gonna give you a quick summary of all of the stuff that we had to get. I'm not gonna go into every single detail, but I'm gonna give you the gist of what we had to get. We needed to get the bumper cover, we needed the bumper absorbers, we needed the lower grille, we needed the upper grille, we needed the emblem that covered the radar for the cruise control and the pre-collision. We needed to get a radiator support. We needed to get actually a wiring harness for the ambient temperature sensor because that was causing a check engine light. We had to get the driver and passenger fender liners, as well as the entire splash guard on the bottom. So I'm sure there are a lot of other small parts that I didn't include in that list, fasteners and other little small parts here and there, but that's pretty much the gist of what we needed. And probably the other big cost that I didn't mention was the driver's side headlight. So the driver's side headlight had a little bracket that was broken. So altogether, with my deductible, they paid me a total of $5,187.47, which basically means it was around $5,900 after the deductible is taken into account. Like if you include the deductible in there, it'd be about $5,900 worth of damage to this car. That is parts and labor. And that about does it. That's the repair on the Sonata. The front end of it is in all good shape. Everything is good. The car is back on the road. It's actually out on like a 5-week rental right now, so it's gonna be gone for quite a while. And probably the next thing we need to do on that car is gonna be brakes. It's got about 55,000 miles on it, and the brakes are starting to show some signs of wear, so that's probably going to be the next thing that we're going to be doing. So we'll take care of that, as well as probably a couple of other cars that are overdue for that job as well. And with that being said, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this content, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you enjoy watching our business and watching this content and want to be able to support the business in some way, we can't do it without your support, and we would really appreciate any bit you can. So if you're watching this video and you're contemplating being a subscriber, just hit that button for us. It helps us out tremendously. If you have a car that you are considering listing on Turo, send me an email and let me know. I would be happy to talk to you about that whole process, as well as if you are interested in sending it here to Jacksonville for us to host it for you, we would be happy to do that. And we will talk to you about what kind of car you have and whether we feel like it would be a good investment or not. I believe in you getting the benefit of this, not me. So yes, I will get some benefit if I do things like that, but at the same time, I want to be transparent and be able to tell you, hey, this is a good idea, or no, it's not. If you need to rent a car in Jacksonville, make sure you visit achurentals.com. We have everything from small compact cars, and we still have that beautiful minivan. It's currently out on a rental, ready to see 7 passengers, nice and comfortably. That car is gone all the time. I don't think you ever see it on any of my videos because people keep wanting minivans. So if you got one, talk to me. Hope you have a great day, everybody.